Hello, everyone. Looks like we have some people in the theater, which is great. I'm going to go ahead and I am going to invite some of our filmmakers up to the stage. Let's see. It looks like we have Stephen. We have Stephen Bednar and Stephen. Oh, I saw Stephen Ellis, but then he disappeared. So I'm going to go ahead. Stephen.
Hello. Hey, Christina.
Hi, Stephen. How you doing?
How are you?
Good. Oh my gosh. So what do you think of this world and everything that's happening?
Oh man, crazy. It's crazy thinking about the last, because the dinosaur was in this one, thinking that when we met back then, how things are so different now. But I really appreciate everything you've done because this is a great environment you guys made for the festival.
Yeah, no, it's so crazy because we're just getting started. This is like the very first block of the day. And if there are any hiccups or anything that come up, then we're definitely going to figure them out through this block and through this Q&A. But everyone, this is Stephen Bednar. He is one of the filmmakers for his two films that just screened. Stephen, won't you tell them a little bit about your films and what inspired you to make both of them?
Thanks. Yeah, so I did Smiles, which was the one about the sharks, and I did The Dinosaur, which is about the dinosaur working at the kind of modern, marketing department. And I guess I'll start with The Dinosaur. Was kind of me just taking my experience about working in kind of the fast-paced, advertising and everything changes so fast, and how do we keep up with the technology? And it was just kind of having really fun with all those kind of jokes and that kind of thing. But it was funny because that one was from 2016, and at the end I had a joke where the new social network that nobody knows yet, and I'm thinking now that's TikTok, right? Because that just came out, and that was the thing that kind of disrupted everything, and would have been if I would go 4 years ago, wait, what's TikTok? So I think it's kind of to see that, it's just, and there's going to be something else that comes that we don't know. And in marketing, all us dinosaurs have to figure it out. So that was playing with that one. And then Smiles is the one that I made, and then the last year I've been doing its festival run now. And that one is about sharks and kind of just really talking about, I love sharks so much that, and I wanted to do a movie about sharks, and then looking at the landscape, I wanted to do one that was kind of really kind of inside of sharks and kind of, made them, like the good guy. They were always the bad guys, so I wanted to kind of make them the good guy and kind of tell their story, because really right now it's kind of crazy that all the things that environmentally we're kind of doing that really kind of make it hard for sharks. So it was kind of show the other side of that. That was kind of my that was it for those films.
So it looks like we also have another filmmaker, KJ. I'm going to go ahead and invite her up to the stage as well.
Hi, Christina.
Hello. Hi, KJ. Welcome.
How are you guys? Thanks for having me. How are you doing, Christina?
Good. KJ, do you remember Stephen from, you guys were in the same year, right? Was it 26? No, I think KJ was 2017, right?
Yeah. Or was I 18?
Yeah.
No, was I 17?
Was it
17 or 18?
Gosh, it's so crazy. We are now in our 5th year. It's hard to believe, but we've been doing this for 5 years now. It's insane. And so this is definitely a unique year, especially with everything that's going on. And it's the first time that we've gone virtual. Cool, just because people from all able to join in on this festival. And it's really cool for you guys too, because hopefully I hit record, so we'll see how the recording comes out, and I'll send it to you guys, so you guys can kind of use it as promo material for your stuff as you guys are kind of like talking more about your films. But KJ, won't you tell everybody a little bit about your film that just got screened in this last block?
Yes, thank you so much, Christina. Well, thank you for for inviting us to be part of the festival. It's a great opportunity, and we're excited just to be part of it all online this year. One of the highlights of our film run is being at Silicon Valley International Film Festival and all the work that Christina does to put it together. So thank you so much. And so I'm the animator and producer and writer on Corky, the animated short that was in the block this morning or this afternoon. And so that was it's a 6-minute short animated film about a corkscrew that falls in love, I guess, with these lightning bugs in a bottle and wants to help them and free them. We have 84,000 images in that film, so every single frame is about 12 layers deep in terms of the rendering. And it was myself and Ty Primosh, the director, who Christina knows, and we had a composer, Tyler Durham, and our sound designer, Steve Emling. So it was a pretty small team to put it together. And we've been doing the festival run, and super excited to be here today with this virtual exhibition. So thank you, Christina.
You're very welcome. So we also have another filmmaker from that film festival block. His name's Sean. I'm going to go ahead and invite him up to the stage as well.
Hello, everybody.
Sean.
Hi, Christina.
Welcome to the stage.
Thank you.
You also had a film in this past block. Won't you share with everyone what it was and tell us a little bit about your film?
Yes, I'm the director of Deepfake Therapy, which was the last film in this block. And yeah, as you might have seen, it's about bereaved family members who are going in a video conversation with their loved ones in heaven, using this new deepfake technology. Yeah, so that's it. And actually, the thing is that I invented this thing. It did not existed before, but I wanted to speak to my grandmother in heaven. She died 5 years ago. And I just wanted to talk to her, and I want to hear from her that she's proud on me and, on what I do in life. And then I thought, like, hey, if we have this technology and you just put an actor in another room and you make sure you have a good audio connection, then you should have the illusion that you're talking with your grandmother in heaven. And we did an experiment on the Dutch Film Academy. This is my graduation documentary. And after that conversation, a lot of therapists were saying, like, hey, this can be a really beneficial tool in the process of grief. Mm. And at that point, it was a very hard point in time, because that was a cross point. I think that's the right word. Because, oh, Christina is gone? Oh, well. And it was because at that point, it was like, should I do this experiment as a director? Or should I give my invention to a grief therapist and let her do that experiment? And we chose for the last option because the broadcasting company found it very unethical if I should do it. So that's how this documentary came about. I think Christina is not here.
Okay, then I'll ask you questions.
No problem. Sure. Yeah.
I can't take Christina's place, but I can certainly ask a question. So what was the most challenging part of this film, of making this project, and how long did it take?
Well, it took us about, I think, more than a year in developing the film ID and the concept of the documentary. And I think the most challenging part was the way I call it the Steve Jobs paradox, because Steve Jobs was telling, like, the consumer needs to know of an existing new thing before they realize they want it. Because this was something very new, we somehow need to promote this construction to people in grief. And that was quite hard because, you know, when you're in a grieving process with a therapist, you're very sensitive, and it's not, you know, the kind of environment where you want to promote your new tool. So therefore, that we have to do very, very carefully, very with a good approach to people. And yes, and eventually we found 4 people who wanted to do it, and they also need to have material of their loved ones on their phone. That was also a problem because some family members really wanted to do this, but they didn't have footage of their loved ones on their phone. Because that's the source material for the deepfake software. And if they have something on their phone, they also need it to want on camera, on film. So all those steps were quite challenging. So, hi, Christina, welcome back.
Hi, sorry. Sometimes
no problem.
Technical bugs that we're still trying to figure out with thing, but yeah. We're supposed to have one other filmmaker, but it looks like it's going to be us today. But you know what? I actually wanted to ask, you know, all 3 of you guys a few questions, just so that, you know, we can kind of get to know each other a little bit more. I want you guys to actually introduce yourselves, you know, how you became a filmmaker, you know, what gave you the idea. I mean, Roshan, you shared, and you kind of kicked us off, right? Of why specifically you made this film. It's because you wanted to have a conversation with your grandmother who passed away. And so, Stephen, let's go ahead and start with Stephen and then go to KJ, and then we'll circle it back to Roshan. And just kind of let us know a little bit about your background, you know, like how you guys got into making films and what you've learned throughout the process.
All right, sounds good. So I went to, you know, I've always loved animation. That's really my biggest passion, let's say. And so I went to the Maryland Institute College of Art with an animation degree. And then kind of after that, I really just kind of started making films. And I'm a creative director as well. So I make this kind of digital content for brands. Really, I just kind of love to kind of make films on the side and really just draw. I love to draw and create characters, and that's kind of like what Smiles started with. It was just like I really love drawing sharks, and I just wanted like an excuse to draw all kinds of sharks for a long time. And the project kind of came out of the passion for that.
So it's really cool because, you know, you made dinosaurs back in 2016.
Yeah.
And then it's now 2020 and you came out with sharks. So is this going to be a trend? You're going to be making something maybe every 4 years?
Yeah. Like sometimes it's how long it takes, you know, with stuff in between. But yeah, I think I just kind of like always kind of have a film that I want to do that I like to do. I love the process of just coming up with it, drawing and moving through the animation process, which is, you know, can be quite challenging at times, but it's kind of fun to really challenge yourself with it. So we'll see what the next one is. I'm not sure yet. Probably some kind of animal that I really like because I love animals. So it would be like, you know, the about a fox. So it's, you know, fox, dinosaur, sharks. We'll see what the next animal is.
So what do you think is going to be the next animal?
Oh man, I don't know. I'm kind of just probably almost in the process of starting to think about the next one. As I'm kind of ending the festival run with Smiles. So I think we'll have to see what you know. I have a lot of animals I like, so we'll see what comes up.
Great.
A little spark, and I'll start drawing. I'll probably just start drawing and see what I'm really having fun drawing.
KJ?
Well, that's great. Anyone who says they love to draw and loves animals and loves characters, I'm your best friend now. Yeah, they're having the speed networking right now. So my background is I'm originally from Glasgow, Scotland. So and I immigrated to the US, but in Scotland I would always go to the comic book store And I would read. We were so broke. I would just read the comic books off the shelf and then come back. Sorry to the shop owner there in Scotland. I never bought the dang thing. And then I just love stories. It was just something that I always loved, reading stories and the art of stories. And there's comics that are unique to Scotland, like the Bruins, and I grew up on Tintin, or the Adventures of Tintin, and Oor Willie, which is a Scottish character that's this very famous comic in Scotland. So that's what I grew up on. And then when I came to the United States, I was blown away by the amount of cereal that's on the shelves and the amount of content and entertainment and animation. So that just blew my mind of how much animation there is in the United States. So I feel like I came to the right country to create animation. But fast forward through school and everything else, and I was working on Corky for a couple of years, and now we have a new short that we're working on. And I like just bringing characters to life that don't have a voice. I love art and design. I love filmmaking and storytelling, and I love music. And if you put me in front of a story, I'm glued to it. So I think I love the passion of storytelling because I think it connects us all together. So there's a way that we connect through these stories in other worlds. And I love imagination. I just love that you can go somewhere else. And I think that's, Roshan, I enjoyed your film because in some ways there was imaginative part of what was going on, when you're connecting. And so the emotional content, the storytelling, the visuals, it's just all together there for me. And that's what I love. I love what I do. So very grateful to be here today and to meet so many talented filmmakers.
Roshan, same question for you.
Yes, my background. Well, deepfake therapy is my graduation documentary. I just have been graduated from the Dutch Film Academy, which is a 4-year course. And you have to pick your class from day one. So you have a camera class and a directing class and sound class and visual effects. And my class was the directing, and you have fiction and documentary, and I did the documentary part. And actually, before I went to the Film Academy, I have worked for the national television for 4 years, but it was more like television reportage, things which I made. But I really was searching for this cinematic deepening of the profession, to go beyond television and try to make cinema. And on the Film Academy, I also have specialized in VR, virtual reality, which is also another project where I'm working on right now. I used to be very obese and I have a stomach surgery, and I lost I lost 70 kilograms. But now I want to make a VR.
What is that in pounds?
Sorry? Yeah, I was
What is that in pounds?
I think 350 pounds. I'm not sure, but the thing is, I want to make a VR experience where the visitors have a vest, like a training jacket. And you can put like extra weight in it. Soldiers train with it and athletes. But if you put a VR glass, then you are in a obese child body which moves along and so that's what I'm doing right now. And so that's my background.
That is amazing. So oh my gosh, you lost 300 pounds. Like, that is so interesting. Like, can you tell us a little bit about that? Like, I know that we're talking about the festival and the films, but I'm really interested to hear about that. Like, so.
Well, I in the 3rd year, I made a documentary, Family Food, about my own family culture and the culture of eating, because I'm originally from India, and they have a particular eating culture there, because everybody in my family is very obese. And in this documentary, I go back 3 generations to find the source of this eating culture. And it was actually, it's now 3 years ago, and my life completely changed after my gastric bypass. It is, I think, it felt like I got a second chance on life. A lot of Christians
Wow.
say that whenever, when you become a Christian, you get a second chance on life. But I feel like this thing is my second life. And the fun thing is sometimes I see people and they say like, hey, you have this brother. Yeah, he's very fat. I saw your brother. I don't have a brother, of course. So
Because of transformation, because of your transformation.
Yeah. And
So what gave you the idea for this gastric bypass surgery? Like,
well, actually, my sister was also very huge, and she did it before, and two of my aunts did it as well. So it was a very logical step. I tried to do it, with a lot of diets and stuff, but I would recommend it if everybody. It's really not everybody. I mean, but if you're thinking about it, it's the best thing in life, but that's what I try to make now. It's like a VR experience where you can experience like being obese. With VR, you get this body around you, and at the same time, the jacket would have this weight. So I'm trying to develop a VR arena space where a documentary is taking place, and you can walk to people and they talk to you, and there's only one mirror. The room is completely empty, and you see yourself in the mirror, and but it's just in the developing process.
that is so fascinating. Thank you for sharing that story. So Stephen, I have a question for you, because I also know that you're moving right now. You're moving. So can you tell, us, like, share with us a little bit about, like, what's going on? And thank you so much for joining us in the midst of your move. I kind of see it looks like an empty apartment behind you. I don't know.
Hotel. Yeah. So I'm moving.
Hotel.
Yeah. I'm moving across country to. I've lived in Irvine, California, and I'm actually moving to Raleigh, North Carolina. And I have a lot of family out there, and my brother goes to Duke out there, and I'm taking some trips out there in the last 3 years, and I'm kind of getting really excited about there, because it's the Research Triangle area out there. It's kind of really blowing up. So it's like a lot of startups. It reminds me of Silicon Valley a little bit. I mean, not so much, but I mean, like, it's interesting because it's like all these startups, because it has the 3 colleges there. So there's all these startups coming up and everything. So, and be closer to family, and with a new opportunity, just kind of making the change. And
so it's work related.
Yeah, work and family.
Work and family. Yeah, no, being close to family is always the best.
On the move, but I'm not sure when the crazy is going to end. So I think I'm just going to go now.
Okay. Great. So KJ, tell us about, just like what you've been up to since Corky, just, like in your personal life, like what's been going on with you?
Personal life. Well, I want to say I was very touched with Rashawn sharing about the second chance. Because your film is so much in a way about that, this other chance, like you get another chance. And then with life changes like Stephen moving, and Christine, I know you had children since I saw you, babies.
Two kids.
2 kids since I saw Christina. And then didn't you move too, Christina?
I live in New Jersey now.
5. And I was at my life changes, right, are not quite as exciting as you guys with all of those, but and also I think there's bravery in, Rashawn, what you were describing.
Oh, thank you.
Very brave, courageous, and talking about it. I'm always amazed when people can speak honestly about their experience. It touches my heart. It's like an instant.
Thank you.
And I feel like I got that with your work as well. And, and it's nice, I think when people progress, like life is this journey, and I love that like even just seeing Christina a few years later with having kids, Christina, that change, you know, that growth in life, it's like the connection was still, we still have that connection through the festival, and people go on. And so my big life changes since I saw you was well, not in any order, of course, but you guys heard about COVID. No, I'm kidding.
No.
Like it doesn't everybody change, right? But I switched schools. I was at a Columbia College, Chicago, and now I'm at University of South Florida, Tampa. And they have a St. Pete campus. They have 2 campuses. So I'm teaching there and building an animation lab. So very exciting. And I had been at Columbia for 14 years. So it was a big change to uproot my life in Chicago and go down there, take a chance, you know, build something new, something. I love Columbia. I had such a wonderful experience there and great friends, and then had this opportunity to try something scary, you know, give up the comfort of something that you know and have developed and are very, you know, very great. It was a fantastic experience, but I also wanted my life to branch out, you know. I didn't want to just be a person that retires in the same place, you know, to move on and grow. So there, I've been there. And then with the pandemic, I'm actually up in New York with my family. So I'm teaching remotely. So there's which is kind of nice to less travel in a way. So I'm trying to look for the positive in it. As a filmmaker, I was constantly at the airport and traveling. And, you know, as independent filmmakers, you promote your own film, and that becomes like the full-time distribution job. And so traveling a lot for that. And that was wonderful too, but it's also nice to be home and not traveling. So all kinds of things like that. So I would say, and starting on a new short, so I'm excited about that. And just opportunities, you know, I think I love being an independent filmmaker. I think that's such a great place to be. It's hard because, you know, you have to do other things to fund yourself, like teach, or, you know, obviously maybe we'd want to do it all day. But funny enough, I was on a panel I was giving a talk at a school, and they asked me, well, don't you want to work at Pixar? And I honestly, as much as I respect the work and I love it, I feel like that's for the young people. My own shorts and tell my own stories. And that's why I'm super grateful for Silicon Valley and Christina giving us this opportunity to share the work with the world. So that's my goal. And I love to meet other artists and independent filmmakers that are doing it outside of the mainstream. And thanks to Christina for supporting us all. And it's like keeping us together and keeping this idea going. So I'm just grateful to be here today. Thank you. A long-winded answer to a short question.
No, I love long-winded answers. You know, more detail the better.
Well, you're in New Jersey.
Yes.
And Steven's coming over to the East Coast.
Yes, we're all on the East Coast. Well, then we have the Netherlands, but on that side of the country.
Yeah. Rashawn, I'll be there next year.
Really?
Oh, wow. You guys should totally connect.
Yeah, we can absolutely connect.
But Roshan,
let me know when you're here. We are absolutely going to catch up.
That would be great. I would love that.
But how about you know, your experience, like with just personally, like what's going on in your life right now, like?
Yeah, it is quite a change, right? It's like graduating with this. It is not really what you hope for. You know, you imagine your graduation thing in a different way. It is. I don't experience much of mental health problems, but yeah, I miss the true connection with people. And of course, you have a lot of Zoom meetings these days and a lot of online meetings, but you know, seeing each other physically is so much different. And I have read a book about dating, and it explains why online dating does not work. And that's because
it does work. I met my husband on Tinder. It does work.
Yeah, it could work. It could work. Okay, yes, that could work. But the thing is, we use our every sense to communicate. You know, you see, you hear, you smell, all those subconscious signals, and we are not getting those by seeing each other digital. So I'm really missing that, you know, just the the real connections and things. And but it's also an opportunity for filmmakers, I think, because there are so much stories now to tell with this lockdown. And I found it very interesting because there is this balance about in the Netherlands. There's this philosophy: everybody is in lockdown because we want to protect the life of the elderly people and those with a bad health. But you begin to think which life is more worthy. That's the whole thing. Because is it worthy to protect those few people and have all the other people have mental problems and issues to have locked down? And it's like not a corona crisis. It feels like it's a crisis when we are all reevaluating our values.
Yes, it's so true.
How much is one person's life worth? So it's
You're pitching all of these new films to me, Roshan, right here. I'm
sorry.
These are new film idea pitches.
No, it's just
like me the scripts. Like, how do we invest, Christina?
Yeah. So you think about those things, like what is a life worth, and I don't know the answer. It's really complicated. It's really
So you know what? We do have a couple people. We have some people in the definitely wanted to give them an opportunity to ask any questions. And again, for people out there, if you guys have any questions, feel free to enter your question. If you look on the panel, if you scroll over in the Q&A part, just go ahead and ask some questions. And if you ask questions, I'm going to invite you up to the stage and I'm going to have you ask the filmmakers your question. If you have a comment, or something that you want to share or like say, based upon, the things that we talked about, then you're welcome to, just say that, like you have something that you want to say and just let me know and I'll pull you up on the stage. But if not, if there aren't any questions from the audience, then I'm just going to carry forward with some of the other questions that I had. But I definitely wanted to throw it out there that if you guys have any questions, that you guys can definitely ask questions or, make any statements or share whatever it is that you want to share. But yeah, it's been interesting, like just a little bit about me too, for you guys. Like, yeah, like I moved out to New Jersey because we were living in San Francisco. And then just after, the whole COVID thing happened, it was just one of those things where I was just like, our daycare's closed. I had just given birth. I gave birth to my second son in January. And, it's just like, we have no family out there. It's literally just us. And I was just like, this is not sustainable. Like my husband and I, we never fought. We like never fought, before, like when we were getting, when we were dating and, engaged. I got pregnant right away. I got pregnant, like 2 months after we got married. So we didn't even really like get to enjoy being married, but we like never fought. And then all of a sudden it's like, we're still kind of getting adjusted to like being married. And then all of a sudden I have a baby. And the thing is like, when you have a child, like it's really, really crazy just because, like as a woman, like, when I was like nursing my child, you have these hormones running through your body. And it's just, a lot of, at least for myself, we were talking about like mental health a little bit earlier. Like for me, a lot of the mental health, came from, I had this life before children. And then now all of a sudden I feel like I have to put a lot of that on hold to take care of this child who is, not showing me any, like appreciation, like they're just taking, and so it's really hard. And then not being able to, pursue the things that I want to pursue, which is actually kind of funny because I really feel like God has a funny way of just, it just kind of reminds me that even though we feel like things are out of our, like that we're not in control, and that nothing's going to be happening and that like it's all doom and gloom. It's like something can happen in the blink of an eye. And so like, it was crazy because while I was 3 months postpartum with my first child, a casting director found my Crazy Rich Asians audition on YouTube. And she called me in to audition for the direct club, Wayne Wang. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, is this for real? And so I went down to where, you know, his hotel was, because, you know, he was holding auditions and meetings there. And I auditioned, and then he ended up casting me for his film. And that's the film that I have the spotlight feature for our festival, The Coming Home Again.
Wow.
So that premiered at TIFF last year. And so it was crazy. When I filmed that, I was 3 months postpartum. So I was on set and I was like pumping and like, you know, like I had just given birth, you know. It was so amazing because it just goes to show you, it's like, I think that regardless of, you know, like changes that happen and us feeling like wanting to feel just despair and just like out of control, I feel like attitude is everything, you know. It's like if you continue to have like that positive attitude, it's like I really do believe that, you know, like things will start happening for you, you know. But it's like if you're in this mindset of like being negative and like always picking out like what's wrong, it's like I feel like you could have this great opportunity in front of you, but you're not in the right headspace to recognize it and really, you know, step into it. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of like something that I've realized. And even like with me, you know, I was like, oh my gosh, we have to leave San Francisco. Like I loved living in San Francisco and I loved my life there. But then it's like, since moving here, it's been one of the greatest things, you know, like my mom literally lives upstairs, you know, and so she comes down, she's like watching my baby right now. And it's been great. You know, I didn't know I'd like New Jersey as much as I like it.
Yeah, I think we all want to be closer to our families and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Realize that, you know, that the
Make
distance is much more with COVID. So
Yes.
sounds great. Congratulations and everything. That sounds awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, so you guys like check out that film. You know, it's like it's available like during the screening times. I think that's the next block. The next film block is going to be showing Home Again, and then the executive producer is going to be giving his Q&A. And he's the director. He like runs the Center for Asian American Media, like in San Francisco. But yeah, it's like he's going to be giving his Q&A. We're going to do the Q&A with him, and that's I think the only Q&A that he's going to be attending. But yeah, kind of. And then if you miss the screening, it's on demand. So Stephen, I know things are crazy on your end because you're moving. You always catch that movie in the on-demand building.
Awesome.
That on-demand building is great, and that's another thing that you guys can do too. Like, you know, for the people that are here, if you guys missed any portion of this film block, if you missed anything, if you missed Smiles and Dinosaur and Corky, or, you know, like Deepfake Therapy, like those are all available in the on-demand building. So feel free to go in and check it out. You can check out those films. But yeah, you all, I guess, anything else you guys want to share? Like,
you know, I have a question for about Corky. For the what made you think that was the character? Because it still is, and when you see it, it's like, oh my god, it worked so well. Did you see it and did it instantly come, or was that something were you looking for something? I'm just really curious.
Well, I guess it, you know, it's just one of those. You saw a wine opener, and then if you kind of go like this, the little arms go up and down. And so this idea, it was originally about we were going to do lightning in a bottle, but lightning it's such a hard thing to capture in terms of, so we replaced that with the lightning bug characters, and that became the lightning in the bottle. And I think with Corky, because it takes so long to make these kind of films, and that he actually became part of our family. We said, like I said, I didn't have kids, I had Corky. So the character to me, you know, just feels like I know this character. I don't know if Christina ever feels that way when you're acting or performing, that feels like this is a real character. I mean, it just happens to be animated. So bringing it to life. Yeah, I think it's definitely something that's close to my heart in terms of production. And the fact that it's gotten received feels like people, you know, in my own sort of philosophy, if you put your heart into something, then I think people can feel that and can relate to that. And so for you to bring up the character, To me, it's like bringing up my child. Like, that's my son. Thank
Yeah.
you for adopting my child.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I don't know if the other filmmakers feel that way about their work, or
Yeah,
Christina.
I absolutely agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I wanted to say with Christina sharing about these changes and the unexpected that can happen, I think as a storyteller, that is one of the things with storytelling, like this unexpected moment or something that can change the character's life, or like Rashawn was sharing personal stories, and Steve's moving, and Christina, you're moving. So those looking for the opportunity within those moments, or the moment of light, just what is that within your storytelling. And so to me, it's inspirational to hear the other stories. Although I do think Rashawn was trying to pitch me that last story.
He's warming up. He's warming
He's
up for the pitch
the
session.
Kickstarter link in the chat.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, and I love that we can come together as the Q&A, Christina, just to talk about the work or to talk about our lives, because as storytellers, it makes me think of Spielberg in E.T., which I watched recently. He was talking, the whole father connection and how that story is about a single mother. And that's what we bring to, we can't help but bring that to our work, I think, our own personal experiences. And I also want to just say hi to the audience. I didn't even know I thought it was just a couple of us here. So hi to
We
you
have a
guys.
real audience. Yeah, I saw it as
I
well.
know, isn't that exciting?
Thanks for letting
4
us come
people.
into your homes and be
Guys,
part of today. And then I just, any film to me that's finished is a success. So I congratulate all of you. And I hope that everybody keeps making these films to tell their stories, because that's how we all connect. And I think during the pandemic, that's been much more important than ever to have those connections. So, and again, to Christina, I can't say, it's just so lovely to see you. And I had such a great experience when we met in person before. So just to be here, and I can't wait to meet your kids.
Oh my God, no.
My son, because I'm a cat. To meet your children.
Yeah, I know. It's like I love having this festival. Like, I shared with some people before, but the whole reason why I started this festival was because, like I majored in theater at, USC. I was a theater major, and, like I'm an actor. And I had, when I graduated, I had an agent that sent me out for auditions, but, that agent and Hollywood in general, like they would just consider me for these roles that, are just very stereotypically Asian, that aren't, like complex, human beings. It's just these like characters, and I didn't like that at all. I was like, this is not the reason why I majored in theater. This is not the reason why I wanted to get into this industry. And then so I started, I took the initiative and I started making my own films. I started writing. I had stories, and it's just like you write your own stories, and honestly, like it's like I feel like that's what you know best, so that's where you start, and then you see where that takes you. And the thing is, I made a few short films, and I went to film festivals, and I was blown away at some of these filmmakers. I was like, wow, they are so talented, and I wanted to connect with them, but I just got lost in the shuffle of film festivals. And it's really, really hard to connect with filmmakers at film festivals, because a lot of the times they just show up for their screening and that's it. And then they disappear, like you just don't connect with them. And I was like, gosh, it's like, I want to create a space where I want the filmmakers to be able to network with each other, and not only that, but I also want to create a space where I can network with them, because like I noticed when I went to when I went to film festivals, all the filmmakers, connected with the film festival organizer. And I was like, you know what, how difficult can it be to run a festival? And it is a lot of work. I'm not going to lie. It's a lot of work. But to me, it's absolutely worth it, because I get to meet people like you guys and hear your stories, and we get to, build these relationships, that we have forever now,
Right.
So that's a lot of the reason why, like year after year, I continue to, do this. And it was so crazy because Paul, he's like the CEO of Filmocracy, the startup. He reached out to me on LinkedIn because, I think that, he was reaching out to all of like the people who had like film festival organizer, like in their LinkedIn profile. So this is why you just have to be very specific when on these social media profiles, right? Like, this is your time. Like, don't be humble. Like, put all your stuff out there, you know, because sometimes that's how they find you. They find you through these like searches and like through like these, you know, like, yeah. And so with these like word searches. And so he found me and he wanted to show me a demo of this platform. And I was like, yeah, sure. Let's do the demo. And dude, after the demo, I was like, oh my gosh, yes, let's do this. And I think I want to do this like every year, you know, even though we think things go back to normal, because I think the cool part of this is that, you know, a lot of the times, you know, we get films submitted from like all over the world and it's just not financially possible for them to come out, you know, and stay in a hotel. Because when you come out, you have to pay for your flight, you have to pay for your hotel, you have to pay for, you know, all these other expenses. But if we meet on a virtual platform like this, you know, I just feel like it's amazing. Like, I know nobody in the Netherlands, but now I know you, Roshan, you know? So it's like, it's incredible. It's so incredible.
Well, that was indeed a question I had. Like, this is the first time a virtual festival, but if this was a physical festival, I should have maybe come all the way to there. And I was like, am I really going to do that? Because, you know, the ticket, hotel costs, everything. So this is a good alternative because it is really, really amazing because I think, to meet people and
And even Steven, like Steven, you're moving today. Like if this was in person, you absolutely would not be able to be here.
No, I appreciate you guys. Yeah, that making it available to me. It's been awesome.
Yeah, no. So it's just like, this is something that I enjoy doing. Of course, it's very stressful because I'm like literally, I run it by myself. But the thing is, I like running it by myself because I feel like if I had a whole bunch of other people doing it, it could get really big really fast. And I don't really want it to get big and fast. You know, it's like people are like, oh my gosh, like you could potentially make so much money. And I'm just like, that's not why I do it. You know, I do it because I want to connect with people. And I feel like that's like where the real value is. You know, it's like I tell people all the time, like I started this festival because I want to meet like the next like Steven Spielberg. Like I want to meet like the next, you know, like next, you know, big time filmmaker that just tell these stories that, you know, people are encouraged by. So it's like, yeah, that's kind of like where I'm coming from.
It's really amazing that you build up this whole festival out of nothing. That's really amazing.
And that's the thing. It's like with the films too. It all just starts with an idea. It starts with an idea, and then you just have to put feet to those ideas and just take action. And then you never know how it'll snowball. Yeah. The first thing is, it's like I think people say like, you know, one of my favorite things is that, you know, people are like, you know, like I myself am a Christian. And so a lot of people say, oh, you know, you can't expect God to like deliver groceries, you know, to your front door. Like you can't expect God to just like, you know, like take you places. And it's like, the thing is, I realized in my experience, like you are more likely to go places when you take the car out of park and you put it into drive, even though you don't know where you're going. Just put it in drive. And then that's when you'll, you know, start being steered in a direction. And it's like, that's the scariest thing, to put your car from park to drive, right? Not knowing where you're going to go. But then I feel like when you do that, you know, and, you know, like you mentioned, KJ, like when you're like bold and you take that move, it's like, I feel like you will be rewarded.
Yeah, I agree with that a lot, Christina. It's almost like my grandfather used to say, pray to God, but row for the shore. So,
yeah.
Keep rowing. So, yeah, and I think, I mean, film in terms of language and whether it's theater or television or cinematic, like you said, Rashan, I do think it touches people's lives. And especially right now when we're all struggling with different aspects of the pandemic, whether it's lockdown or illness or uncertainty. I mean, it's a hard time to, you know, some people don't have jobs right now. It just financial burdens and family situations. There's just so much going on. And if film or if a 5-minute short or a 15-minute short film can give people reprieve from that, you know, and also I think give hope. I think ultimately as a filmmaker, my goal is my films are about hope and joy and goodness that you can bring, with not necessarily tied to religion, but that idea, that spirit, that we're all connected in spirit, and the little soul that's within all of us. And I was drawing, I was on the farm where I keep my horse, and I was drawing the little eggs from the chickens. And I was like, each egg is a wee soul in each egg, and they're sheltered in this little egg. And it made me think about life is so fragile like that, that little egg, but we're all here sort of fighting to get out, right? Yeah. Fighting to have our voices heard. And I think this platform gives us the opportunity to have our voices heard. So for that, I'm very grateful. Oh, I hear a baby.
You guys want to meet him? Oh my, can you?
Yes.
So this is like
the festival. Bring up.
This is Connor.
Hey.
He turns 1 next month.
Really? Of course. Wow.
Hi.
What's his name?
What's his name?
Connor. Connor, you want to say hi?
Hi, baby. Look at those cheeks. Hi. Future filmmaker.
So you guys, we are at time. Do you guys have any last words for everybody and for the audience, for each other?
I was so impressed by the films I saw, especially the animation films. Really, hopefully we can have a follow-up chat, because I had a lot of questions also for you guys. But 1 hour seems to be too short for it.
You guys, you know what you guys should do? You guys should go to the networking lounge and you guys should connect with each other. It's a yacht. It's a yacht.
Yeah, indeed.
Yes, the films were amazing. I was blown away. You guys did a great job, and Christina, thank you so much for everything you've done with the festival. Really appreciate it. Love this festival. I'm going to keep applying forever. And such a fan. So thanks so much.
Thanks, Steve. And Christina, thank you so much for having Corky as part of this festival. And I just want to say you have a beautiful baby there. That is
it's really amazing.
So beautiful. Perfection. And it's such an honor to come and share our work with other filmmakers, with Rashawn and Stephen and Christina and our audience as well. And I would say to everybody, keep making films. I want to see your films just as much. And so thank you, Christina, for making this possible. And just in this time, it was something that personally I was looking forward to, and it's just such an honor to be here with such talent. So thank you guys so much.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
You're very welcome. Okay, guys, thank you so much for
Thank
joining us.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys. Bye. On LinkedIn or in the networking room.
Yeah.